CJ was telling us that the win over Tulane got them 3 days off. What are you doing during these 3 days?
Well, you know, there's always stuff to do. There's stuff to catch up on. There's always recruiting. There's always watching film. There's always something. But also, you know, recharging a little bit too. I think there's a balance, especially with the players, of how much you grind, how much you keep push, and how much you try to refresh. And so this was, you know, a calculated thing on our staff's part to feel like, you know, going into the second half of the season and beyond, maybe a break. We didn't get the other, usually get 2-week breaks, if you will, in the league. We didn't get our other one because we played the Vanderbilt game. So this is our only one. And so we felt like it was a good idea, but I've got lots of stuff to catch up on.
You talked about recruiting a little bit, and I know you don't have any seniors. How do you kind of handle the year of, you know, because there's always roster turnover in college basketball, but how do you kind of handle it?
You know, if there is in our world, which there seems to almost always be, you know, transfers are fantastic. You know, we're going to have a lot of people coming back with, you know, next year's team looking forward. You know, maybe everybody coming back, or certainly a lot coming back with guys that have played together and fitting together and getting better together. And so, you know, in some ways, our perfect world would be a transfer sitting out. Some of the great players we've had here over the last several years have been that way. At the same time, we have to also, you know, you never know, and maybe we'll have to recruit somebody to jump in and play. But a little tricky to do that right now when somebody can look at your roster and say you don't have any seniors.
You obviously have Darius coming for next year, and then you got some guys who are redshirting that played last year. I mean, so did you kind of come into this last recruiting class almost like we don't need to get any incoming freshmen because of just the way the roster is constructed? You'll have backups even if you...
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't really look at it. I mean, everybody, you know, if you're a freshman and you earn the time, you earn the time. If you're the senior or whatever, we didn't have any seniors, but I didn't really look at it that way. I just, you know, we're coming off of 3 years of 9 scholarships reduced, and that's uncharted waters. Never happened in the history of basketball, and so we're in the process of coming out of that, and we regrouped, and I'm very proud of, you know, the team that our staff has put together, and so, you know, we're going to grow from here, grow from there, and so we had to recruit a lot of people this year, really because of probation. So I just feel great about, you know, where we're at, a lot of the guys in our program, what they can become, what our team can become, and we'll figure it out at the end of the year. We'll see, you know, exactly where we're at, but I feel very positive.
You spoke after the Tulane game about what a drastic change there was between the first half and the second half. Anything you and your staff can do other than digging out your notes from your halftime speech to try to rekindle that up in Philly?
I wish it was that simple. But, you know, sometimes games every game has its own personality. You know, every game, another team might start out hot, the other team may just be playing incredibly hard, or sometimes you think you're not playing as well and you go watch the film afterwards, you're like, we played well, we just missed a few shots, and they hit some tough shots. So I don't really worry about starts and, you know, little pieces of the game. I really just worry about, well, how'd the whole game play out? And I thought we played outstanding the second half. I did think when we get up 21 or whatever, and we got a little loose, you know, that same feeling of, hey, we got this game in hand. Before you know, you look up, I want to say they cut to 13 and there's still 3 minutes or so. I wish we would not get loose when we're up, but again, I don't really worry about a start, or, you know, you can't really change those things. Every game has a different personality, and I just really worry about what the whole game and what the outcome looked like.
You guys have the highest rated offense right now in the conference, and you're doing it with 5 starters, you know, all transfers. 4 of them weren't on the roster last year. Are you kind of surprised at almost how quickly this team has gelled offensively, and just kind of the way you're able to put a roster out there?
A little bit, but I give them credit. First of all, you have to have talent to be. You have to have guys that have talent. You can't be the #1 rated if you have bad players, so I give them a lot of credit for that. But, you know, we've had a lot of success from an offensive standpoint over the years, and hopefully we feel like, you know, that we do have a way of getting guys to play together and understand how to play together, and hopefully our system helps them that way. But I am proud of that. I really am proud of them for buying into playing team basketball, which sounds like, well, everybody does that, but really that's not the case. I mean, that's a big step. That's a big step to get a college team in this day and age, especially at our level, to really want to, you know, fully pass each other the ball and make plays for each other, as opposed to trying to make every play for yourself. I think we're top in assists, which I think is huge. You know, it just shows you that we're trying to be about the right things and try to make the guy next to you better. And if I make you better and you make him better and you make him better, all of a sudden you've got a good offense. And that's what we've always tried to do. Long way to go still, but it's good that we're there at this point.
Going off that a little bit, obviously Ethan is not having that season that, you know, I mean, I haven't seen him play before this year, but the numbers from the last couple of years, he's definitely regressed statistically. I mean, what are you kind of seeing from his...
You know, what I'm proud of him is, from a defensive, there's a lot of things he's doing better.
Yeah.
He really is. And so, you know, so many times, it's one of my, if I could change one thing in basketball, there would be no statistics, because it's always, well, look at, you know, you're not, if you didn't make those points or whatever, then you're not, and I don't like that. It's always going to be there, of course, but Ethan's doing a lot of good things. He really is. In fact, I was just watching film again, and a lot of things better than he did before. He's just not shot the ball like he has in the past. He's been, you know, the last couple of years, he's been a great shooter. For whatever reason, he's not shot the ball as well. So when you're not shooting as well, you're not going to get as many opportunities, of course. We're not going to make sure you get those shots. And if he, you know, if that confidence comes back, he's going to have some big nights. I know he will. He's had some big nights against big teams for us in the past, and you know, he's doing a lot to help us. So I'm not worried about that. But I hope for his sake he gets rewarded, because you know, again, I just watched the film. I thought he was pretty attention to detail, did a lot of things to help us.
You've given your guys a few days off this week, but
and I'm sorry, and he's a very good passer. I mean, he's really. You know, he's an unselfish player. He's always trying to make plays for others, and I really like that about him. I really do.
when you've given your guys a couple days off this week, but you have the full week to prepare for Temple, when you get them back on the floor, are you inclined to try to add new wrinkles to what you're doing to maybe show Temple something different than what they saw a couple of weeks ago? Or
So what are all of them?
Yeah, you know, that's always a debate in a coach's mind, always. You know, how much do we tweak and change, or how much do we just try to get better at what you're doing? New things are slow to really, they look good, they feel great, and you run them a couple times in practice, but sometimes they're a little slow to make it to the game. So I'm a little hesitant to try to do too much of that, but certainly there are some things, subtle things, that we feel like we need to do to help us, not just for this game, but for other games, and kind of the way people are playing us. So there's a few minor things that I think we need to adjust to, but I don't think anything major.
As the season's gone on, who have you seen kind of emerge as the leaders off or on the court in the locker room?
Well, I don't know if we have one. You know, I think, and I like that. I like having just a bunch of guys trying to lead. You know, and sometimes you do have one guy that's just the leader. But my experience has been when there's a whole bunch of leaders, you're actually better off. And I've said this a lot. We've got a number of guys that are, I think, high-level competitors. You know, everybody's got their own little threshold of how bad they want to win. If you and I are playing checkers, one of us probably gets more upset when they lose than the other. We're just wired that way. We've got some guys that are wired that way, and they kind of pull the wagon a little bit more and kind of lift everybody else up. And so I think we have a number of guys doing that.
Do you think Everett coming back this year, is he going to be able to?
I think so. Yeah. I'm hoping this game.
Really?
I don't know. I just they kind of told me day to day, and it's like, well, it's been a lot of days, so I'm hoping, you know, week to week maybe is what they should have said. But I hope. I know he's starting to do a few more things. It'll be interesting, you know, when we get back to practice, if he's feeling full speed or whatever. No, but I can't imagine he's not going to be back.
Okay.
I just don't know for sure for this game.